Well,
it's a strong. It's like you have to, once you join one of those groups, you just can't ever switch.
you can't. Yeah, it's because everybody's hating on us. So I'm an
'Cause
anti-iPhone.
Then if you switch, then everybody's like, "Oh, finally,
Coward. It's really just a practice in going against the grain, quite frankly.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, it started that way.
Yeah.
Well, it actually started that way because you can actually do things with your phone that are not locked down. Like before, it was like music and other little things. Like they had more apps and stuff like that.
Yeah, back whenever you could just use Apple Music in the day.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was other reasons, but now it's just out of spite. So yeah. So anyways, we're rolling. So
Okay.
we can get started here. Oh yeah, turn that on. So welcome everybody to another episode of the Banya. Of course, we've got myself with Luke Manuel and our guest today, Steve Benton.
Welcome, Steve.
What's up, guys?
My glasses aren't on. What temperature are we at right there?
It's looking like 190.
190.
Nice. We got cranking today.
Sweet. Yeah, we're starting off pretty damn hot. That's a good one, Steve.
That's good.
Yeah.
You know, normally sometimes it's like 150 is a good starting point. So we're just jumping right into the fire with
jump
you,
off
my
at
guy.
150.
Yeah, but
Well,
it's
Steve's
cold out, windy, cold.
Uh-huh.
Whew,
Steve
feels
saunas
good.
a lot too, so he's ready for it.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
and I enjoy the sauna.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Well, a quick little intro for Steve. He's BJJ Brown Belt and coaches at Aries PV as well as Aries East Mesa with Coach Alex Martinez, and former military. You do all kinds of things. You're a kettlebell guy, sandbag guy, super fitness freak. So we'll get into all of that. We just lost the temperature light, unfortunately. The thermometer. It's not lasting here, but that's okay. So welcome.
Yeah, again, I didn't charge it, so
I can see
my
it.
bad.
I can see it.
No,
It
the
still
thermometer
works.
part still works. It just
light.
looks cooler when it's lit up. But, is that where you got your sandbag regiment from? Was watching Steve?
From watching Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so lots
awesome.
of credit out to you for getting me on the kettlebell and sandbag game. It's
man.
crazy this like strength you have and seeing lifting what you're up to like a 300 some pound sandbag, right? Almost.
I mean, I definitely get in battles with the 325.
Okay.
But it's like I'm consistent on getting it to my lap now. It's the shouldering it that has been giving me trouble. I got in once.
Yeah, I saw the video the other day. You got really close,
Dude, that was a tough one.
Yeah.
That was a tough one. I had it. I thought I had it.
You not worried with those kind of weights about getting hurt or anything?
I mean, you know, it's the same thing as like I'm doing 325 pounds, right? But like you got a guy deadlifting like 800 pounds.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing it, and you know, it's very similar to like doing jiu-jitsu. Like are you worried about taking a double leg on a big guy?
Yeah, okay.
Not really, you know, because you know what you're doing.
Yeah, you've worked up to it. It's not like
Yeah,
you're
I didn't just jump
in
in.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, all right, I'm going to buy the 325 and like, that's it. That's all I
Right.
got. No, I got pretty much a bag. I got a bag from 25 pounds, 25, 50, 100, 155, 211, 225, 250, 268, 325.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay.
It's always a workup. It's a climb to get there. And
So
like,
you got like $10,000 worth of sandbags at your house?
to be fair, I will like first of all shout out to Freedom Strength because he's awesome, JB.
Yeah.
He's a really good dude. And I'm an affiliate of his, so use my code Benton. But they have they're really cheap. Like for what you get for the tool you have, like compare it to like if you buy a barbell, what you're gonna like a decent barbell is $400.
Yeah.
Like that's like relatively low end too for like a good Olympic barbell, and you can get 4 sandbags for $400.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, 20 extra bucks each to fill up at Lowe's if you don't go have sand somewhere.
Gotcha.
You know, if you do have sand somewhere, I mean, you just got to watch out for stuff in it. But I just buy the Lowe's sand, so it's extra $20, but you're getting, you know, say like a 200-pound sandbag.
So you don't go out to Saguaro Lake and fill up your sandbags?
The problem would be getting them back.
Oh yeah.
That's the issue.
No, I'm
'Cause, like,
teasing. There's probably a bunch of trash and shit out there.
I know a guy who fills them up at the beach though.
Oh
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, he's like, yeah, I just fill it up at the beach, and then he's like, I dolly it.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, it's actually a good idea.
That's
But
part of the workout.
I mean, you're saving $20, but
yeah.
it's not too bad. Lowe's is pretty cheap. Just fill it up. You can even fill it up inside. Just dolly it out in your.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just bring the bags up there.
Yeah.
They look at you a little weird.
I was gonna say.
You can get it done. It's not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I got the same Freedom Strength ones from you, so appreciate the look on that. And I fill it up with sand, just the play sand, as well as some rubber crumb. I guess it helps hold it together. I don't know if it really matters that much, but yeah, and doing the 100-pound and then 150 as well.
Nice, man.
So,
that's awesome.
That 150 is nice. It's
a workout, bro.
It is.
There's nothing like it. I can't. The unconventional training, like, it's, if you train jiu-jitsu, like, I think that you should at least give it a thought.
Yeah.
Just because of the translation. It translates so well to our sport.
And it's way more fun than just going to lift weights at the gym. Like throwing a sandbag around, or kettlebells or the mace bell is a lot of fun because it's primal. You're like tossing around like you have the hammer, but it's just more fun. Tossing a sandbag is way more fun than going to just lift weights.
100%.
So
I mean, you're talking single plane. Like, every traditional barbell exercise, besides, you get into Olympic exercises, that's different. But your traditional bench press, squat, all that, you're very much in a single plane, linear movement.
Right.
And really in life, where are you going to run into that?
Right.
Yeah, everything's way more dynamic than that. Yeah.
And if you're not, like, adding to that with mobility and other things, you're just doing all that single plane, you're going to hurt yourself potentially really easily, because all those stability muscles that are not being used, that you have to use in sandbag or other that are functional type lifts, it's definitely different.
And we got a guest. What's up, Ollie?
What's up, man?
So,
Your chicken nuggets?
no.
Dino Nuggies?
No. So, Daddy,
You want to say into the mic? What do you got?
I'm ready.
Dada,
I'm listening.
Sakura is not wanting me to have Blab and Mickey.
Oh my gosh, Blab and Mickey. Okay, well, maybe just ask her for a turn. See what happens.
What's that turning do?
Turns up the volume.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want to say anything to the mic before you go? One thing real quick.
This,
All right. What do you got to say?
can I turn up?
It's already all the way up.
Hello, everyone. I like your father, and my dad was Tootie.
Okay. All right.
I'm Tootie. Yep.
But not in the
Sometimes-
Banya, because that's the rule.
Yeah, we
No.
only have one rule in here.
Yeah.
It's no farting.
Don't fart in the Banya.
Save that for the fire.
Save it elsewhere.
That's right. Thanks, Ollie. Yeah.
Good welcome intermission.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Steve, you've done a lot of things in your life. You
Yeah.
know, military stuff, fitness, obviously jiu-jitsu. You've been doing jiu-jitsu for a long time. Tell us about how'd you get into jiu-jitsu? What started that?
Yeah, so that's a pretty interesting story in itself. When I was, I want to say 13 or 14, whatever you are between freshman and sophomore year, I was the young guy too. So, boxing gym opened up near me, and one of my good friends was just obsessed with boxing. We used to play fight night all the time.
Yeah.
And so we ended up signing up, just going and checking it out, signing up.
Is that in Phoenix? Are you from here?
No. This was back in St. Louis.
Okay,
It was
right. That's
Wentzville,
right.
Missouri. Trained with Dave Hammock and Hammock Brothers Boxing. And, I was training there. And he brought on a coach named Rocky Vircher, who was a Lindenwood NAIA national champion wrestler. Very good wrestler. And he was running like an MMA program. And so that kind of was my introduction. I like to say he kind of taught catch wrestling, because at the time he had like does jiu-jitsu now, but at the time he didn't have a crazy base in jiu-jitsu, so we learned a lot of wrestling that worked for mixed martial arts. And so that was like introduction. And then I think I was telling you guys earlier, but probably right before I joined the military, so like, you know, you're getting hit when you're doing MMA, and I had done like boxing fights, kickboxing fights, stuff like that, but you had to be 18 in Missouri to fight in MMA or any sanctioned MMA fights, so I had never fought. And then I got into like the depth of the military, and they were like, well, we recommend you don't fight anymore. And so I was like, well, let me do jiu-jitsu, because I know that was pretty fun. Yeah. And it's something to do. So for like 6 months before I joined, I did jiu-jitsu at a Gracie gym out in St. Louis under J.W. Wright. Really solid jiu-jitsu athlete. He fought actually on Strike Force, I think. But anyways, trained with him for a little bit. And then when I joined the military, I kind of did some wrestling stuff with some guys there, because I wrestled in high school too. And started some different programs at different places, or like, kept club teams going. In Korea, probably picked jiu-jitsu back up like heavily in 2017, early 2017. And yeah, from there, like when I deployed, me and another guy kind of got a program going there, found a space that we could rent from the cops, and, coordinated it with the base athletics and all that stuff, and got a weekly regiment going where we were having training sessions and stuff like that. So that was really cool. And then came back, trained back in the States, went to Korea, got my blue belt right before I went to Korea, and then went to Korea. And as soon as I got there, I was basically the replacement group for a black belt that was running the program out there. Okay. So when I got there, it was kind of almost dwindling down, because that black belt was no longer in place. And so there was like a handful of blue belts
just messing around.
Yeah. And so me and another guy, my buddy Josh, kind of kept it going, teaching whenever we could, whatever we felt comfortable with, because, we were still just blue belts. And then as people, started coming, we started gaining new coaching. Actually, a guy over at Q's now, what came out there, and then there's, tons of other people. But yeah, Austin was actually, I didn't even say his name earlier, Austin Fod. He actually was the guy who really got me heavily into leg locks. Taught me a lot of what I know. And he's over at Q's, brown belt under Q. Okay. And but he was a purple belt when he got there, and kind of took over some stuff too. And then we ended up getting a black belt named Eddie, who taught some classes and stuff out there. And that was really cool. Really great environment to learn and grow in jiu-jitsu, because being American in Korea and doing jiu-jitsu was the connector.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I could travel. And one of my buddies, Josh, the guy who I was talking about before, who we kept it going, he could speak Korean. He was like fluent. And so he got us in a lot of doors as well. Cool. And so we would go train at different bases around Korea. We ended up training with like Korea's equivalent of the SEALs. They're the Korea SSAT team. They're the Sea Special Assault Team, I believe is the acronym. Okay. But we ended up training with those guys, and it was just a really cool experience. The black belt over there still, hits me on Instagram and stuff.
That's cool.
Really good dude. Yeah. But they brought us into their facility. We swam in their pools, like trained with their guys. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
And so that was just a great connection for jiu-jitsu, being there. And then Salt Lake City, trained under 10th Planet with Amir Alam, and then also at Combat Arts, and just had a blast. And
let me ask you this real quick. So like in wrestling, like Americans have a specific style, Russians have a specific style, the Japanese, like different areas have different styles of wrestling. Is that the same in jiu-jitsu?
I'd say so. Korea was still for sure developing in their nogi. Because it's a newer sport there. The gi obviously was the one that took
Way more traditional.
yeah, it took part. It was a little, it came from Japan as well too. So, they have good like judo and good. They have a lot of judo, high level judo guys, and then a lot of gi guys. But no gi is still kind of making its way over there. Solid. They have good no gi guys. They have a lot of good like martial arts fighters, like guys coming into the UFC now from Korea. But their gi game is strong. They're very good, like spider guard players. Very very good grips.
Okay.
Like, so it you do get a different style where you go. And I would assume that's the case for other places. I trained in the Philippines. Went to an awesome camp there called Roll Chasers. I'm not sure if they're still. I know they're still like active on Instagram, but they do a Canada camp and then a camp over there. Really cool. Got to train with Humberto Jimenez and Gezre Matuda. Just randomly Googled a camp. I was like, I want to travel while I'm here, but I also want to do jiu-jitsu. So I was like, maybe I can find a camp, and pulled the trigger hoping it was real. And showed up to the Philippines like, all right, well, if it's not real, I'm in the Philippines. It'd be cool.
Yeah, right.
Turns out it was real and it was awesome.
Nice.
I had a freaking blast and met a bunch of cool people. A lot of people I still keep in contact with today.
Yeah.
Just different guys, and they're all from all over the place too. There's a lot of Canadians because the Canada team was the one that put it on. But
That's awesome. I mean, it goes to show to your jiu-jitsu and how well-rounded it is with all the different experience you have. It's definitely made you the jiu-jitsu practitioner you are, which is awesome. It's a good skill you have. So
How old are you?
I'm 31.
31.
I'm 31. So I would say that like my jiu-jitsu is definitely I have the skill that I have because of training in a lot of different places.
yeah,
Being like starting in California, getting to train in Korea with I got to train with Australian guys who were judo guys over there, or different French forces that came in and hung out with us a little bit.
super nomadic. That's cool.
Yeah. It's honestly a solid. I mean, if you have the opportunity to travel and train, or even to just go to local open mats that you don't normally go to, I highly recommend it, just because you get used to a current gym environment, or you get used to the people, your partners, the guys you train with, and they know your game, you know their game, and so you guys aren't really doing much else.
Yeah.
But if you go to a place where you just don't know anybody, they're going to be throwing stuff at you maybe you've never even seen.
Yeah.
And it's going to open a lot of your game up, and it may open up some gaps you have. It may show you some things that maybe you need to work on. It also may show you some things that okay, I'm doing this really well.
Sure.
Maybe I need to lean into this a little bit more. I didn't realize I was actually decent at half guard or whatever. So
yeah, that's awesome.
How many different gyms here in Arizona do you jump around to? So obviously Aries, East Mesa, Grey Wolf.
So I train at Paul's occasionally. Arizona Combat Sports I was training at for a while. Still good friends with a lot of people there. Train over at DeBoa. That's where I first started when I got out here, because I was living with my buddy Thomas on the.
Where's DeBoa at?
It's way west side. It's
Way west.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Surprise.
They've got an awesome program.
Really,
Huge
really
program.
good. Huge, massive. They're Andrew and Leslie are phenomenal people.
Yeah.
They're very awesome people. And it shows.
Yeah.
Because the team that they've developed.
Totally.
They're very laid back, very loving, family oriented people. They do different outings and trunk or treats and Christmas stuff, all that stuff. They have a great kids program. So
yeah, their kids program. I mean, anytime we go to a competition, DeBoa is always at the top of the list for adults and kids.
Yeah,
it's
because
awesome.
They just have a ton of people who compete, but Andrew's really good about the way that he's definitely not pressing it on anybody.
Sure.
Which is can be detrimental if a coach is pressing it too much, because it's you're gonna push people away in some circumstances, but sometimes it's good. You gotta know what you're doing, but
yeah,
if you push the right people, you'll get the right people doing it, but you don't want to push everybody.
Yeah,
And Andrew's very skilled at that, I believe.
That's great.
But yeah, I train 10th Planet Scottsdale occasionally. I still have a punch pass there. I actually haven't really used. I've trained at 10th Planet Phoenix. Planning to go with a buddy out to Goodyear 10th Planet. I've trained with Element a lot. I like the Element guys. They're very cool. They're very chill.
Where's Element at? I'm not.
So they actually had a gym really near here. But they're reopening in Phoenix. I'm not sure if they're fully reopened yet. But last time I talked to Etienne, they were reopening in Phoenix. And
we're in Phoenix. It's a pencil. It goes from
Yeah,
like
that's
Ahwatukee to Deer
that's true.
Valley.
I think they're shooting for like right in the middle, kind of near like
Central.
kind of near ASU downtown campus.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
it'll be a good
Border
location
there.
for them.
Yeah.
A lot more of their guys are kind of in that area too, so they were traveling. Some of their guys even like lived in the gym. So
Yeah,
it was,
wow.
Yeah, it was a very it's that kind of vibe of a gym, very chill, relaxed, like open, like a lot of. I used to go there for a lot of morning classes and just hang out. The guy who owns it would just be rolling with us, vibing, hanging out. So
Nice.
really cool spot. But yeah, I mean, I'll train anywhere that's chill with it.
Yeah.
Most places are. There's obviously outliers in that, but I still want to make it out to Proving Ground. I've actually never been there.
You've
but
still never been?
no.
Okay. Yeah.
Still want to make it out there. I know they do a Sunday open mat.
Yeah, it's always fun for Sunday open mat.
Yeah, I'll have to. It's a pretty far from me now.
Yeah,
being in
it's a
like middle of Mesa, but
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's a commitment right there.
yeah,
Yep.
Carpool.
yeah, exactly. But no, I do want to make it out there. I love Ruben; he's awesome. So, be cool to go train out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You cooking yet?
Am I cooking?
Yeah.
I'm warm.
Yeah.
I'm sweating, getting a little drippies going.
Log, but
Yeah, I want to heat that up.
I got you.
So you're not in the military anymore, though, right?
No, I got out in 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, separate. So when I separated, I pretty much came out here to separate.
Yeah.
When I came out here originally, I did a program that the military offers called Skill Bridge,
Okay.
and it's basically an internship program that they offer to kind of keep the guys in an attempt to keep people from being like jobless afterwards.
Sure. Yeah.
So they offer these like a 6 month, up to 6 month, nice.
Nice.
up to 6 month internship where the military continues to pay you, but you work for this company.
Okay.
And a lot of times it's like one of the stipulations, it's supposed to be like with good opportunity for you to get a job after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that originally. Lived with my buddy and then moved over to this side, and that's when I started at Paul's, and
Nice.
yeah, kind of progressed from there. But
Yeah.
So are you full-time coaching right now, or do you have other day job?
yeah, so I'm full-time coaching, also personal training, and then I do go to school. I'm in an MBA program right now,
Okay.
so that's a full-time program as well. But I get paid to go,
Yeah.
because the GI Bill. So
Nice.
that's a net benefit there. Keeps me afloat for sure,
Yeah.
and yeah, just working through that.
That's rad.
Enjoying
Nice.
it.
Enjoying life, living it.
Yeah, it's a good season for me. I get to do what I love. Get to teach people. Get to share.
That's a
my
special
knowledge.
skill, man. Honestly, yeah. Being able to share knowledge is not. I struggle with that piece. You know, it's I'm a better student than I am a coach. You
Why
know,
do you say that?
I don't know. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I like being a student. You know,
You just preference.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something in there. I don't, can't really explain it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I always people that can digest and then share their knowledge. It truly is a special skill that not everybody can translate. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you're good at it, Steve. I mean, I learned
appreciate
a
it.
lot from you from jiu-jitsu, but also, training and just the mindset of training as well. Like not jiu-jitsu training, but, lifting and kettlebells, like I was saying earlier. So it's great. And the mobility stuff, definitely opened my eyes to it a lot, which is amazing. And
Awesome.
I take that and wanting to share and tell everybody like it's keep mobility, keep moving. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm glad, man. I mean, I owe it a lot to like I said, probably the first coach I ever had, because I was like back at that boxing gym I was talking about. I was coaching kids classes, and that was like, and then from there I was also doing like some different group classes around town.
Yeah.
So coaching like a cardio kickboxing class at this big local gym and a couple other things like that. Always been writing programs for people, and it's just been developing skill for like forever now. Like it's been like 16 years. So
wrestling in Missouri is no joke. That state is a powerhouse for wrestling. How'd you do? You when did you start there?
So I started in 8th grade, but I wrestled freshman, sophomore year. And then after sophomore season, I decided to become an MMA fighter full time. And
you're a bit younger than me, and like I like that stuff just wasn't like it was starting to become a thing, but like most wrestlers my age, like that just wasn't like a I don't know.
Radar.
Yeah, that's funny to hear.
Yeah,
because you're only like 4 or 5 years younger than me, but definitely like that was a big gap when it comes to MMA.
Yeah, it really started taking hold around my time in like middle school and high school. It was really like getting popular, and that I was just honestly we kind of regret it still, because like both my coaches were like, don't quit wrestling, and I was like, I just want to like work. I was working at Buffalo Wild Wings just like to make money to keep coaching and doing stuff like that. And then like, because my mom couldn't pay for the classes anymore, so I was just like trying to pay for them and then paying for them via coaching as well. And so I just wanted to lean into that. I was like, I'm gonna be in and then I really had like a get real with myself moment, and I was like, do I want to be like fully committed to that lifestyle of like just pretty much living in a gym? Like the career path is pretty linear, and it's like
do or die.
It's very much like you better make it to like a pretty substantial point, or else you're just kind of you're working a part-time job or something, and like it's not something you enjoy. And kudos to anybody who does it for sure, but it just I really came to terms with that, like that's not exactly where I wanted to be. And that's kind of when the military came around.
Nice. Yeah,
because I was like, man, I'm not working at Buffalo at the time. I was Buffalo Wild Wings, and then I was like, I'm not really going anywhere. I'm not being a good example for my little brothers, and not like, so I wanted to change that. So
well, it's a good realization having that yourself. Like as a young person, I mean, when I was that young, I don't know if I had the wherewithal to kind of think that specifically, especially having little brothers. I guess I didn't know you had little brothers, so knowing that too, being the example, that's cool. It's something we desperately need, all of that just in America and the world to have that mindset.
Yeah, more male role models for sure. I mean, it was it was kind of on me. I was 7 and 9 years older than my little brothers, and like the oldest male in the household. So it was like I could keep working at Lowe's and try to follow this MMA fighter career, but what am I really showing them?
Sure.
Like, what am I? Or I guess I was at Lowe's when I joined, but I was at Buffalo Wild Wings before that. But I could keep doing that and kind of show them that I could pursue. That would be pursuing a goal, yes, but I could also pursue a goal and then like work out of our current circumstance a little bit and like make some things happen. So try to be a little bit better of a role model, just in my eyes at least.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
I mean, there's no question about it. Like, there's a more responsible decision, I mean, it could have gone another way for you too, but like you said, dude, making those choices are hard either way, right?
100%.
All right, well, Luke's about to go jump in the cold plunge.
Let's take a quick break.
Yeah, let's do it
in here.
Per usual, I'm the first one out. Oh yeah, fire's rocking again. All right, Steve, hit us with some water on those rocks.
So there's a bucket there?
Okay.
Yeah.
Give it a little scoopy.
Yep.
Full scoop or?
Full scoop.
Full scoop.
Shout out to my Aunt Amber for the sweet Banya hat and the new sauna bucket and scooper. Spoon. Oh yeah, there it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Choking on that.
That'll take it up a notch.
Mm-hmm.
It burns the throat.
It's like spicy.
Mm-hmm. Dana's got to get his hat, protect that
Yep.
beautiful
Protect the dome.
mop
Protect
of
his-
hair you have.
Yeah, I wish I would have done that sooner.
Yeah, take care of your hair.
Take care of your hair.
All right, so before we get back into anything, I got to ask Luke about something.
Yeah.
So, you rolled into the gym the other day with rollerblades.
Oh yeah, dude.
We gotta know. I gotta know how that came about because we had a good laugh of it.
So, well, my daughter and my 2 sons got rollerblades for Christmas / their birthdays, and they like to do what's called loop-de-loops in the neighborhood. We just troll around the neighborhood, do a lap, and yeah, we just we do skateboards, we do all this stuff, and I was like, I'll blade with them, and for some reason in my head I was like, I'm gonna be super good at this, and I'm so bad at rollerblading. It's like, and it's really hard, and it's a quad workout.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to strengthen my legs right now. It's been a part of my body that's always been like one of the weakest things, actually. So yeah, just it's a quad workout, man. Blading, so and I live so close to the gym. I was like, and I knew I was gonna get torn up by the morning guys. All the fun things names you might think I'd be called. I've been called already, so I knew we'd get a good laugh out of that.
That's cool.
Yeah, blade in, dude.
That's awesome. That's cool. You live close enough to the gym to just like have that option.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so lucky, man. Just rollerblade, walk, skate, whatever. So yeah, no, honestly, it's kind of nice. Like for the 6 a.m.s, by the time I get done, even though it's a short distance, by the time I get there, like I'm warmed up.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like I roll into class like I feel better.
Not like the people who've just like woke up, got in the
drive
car.
it. And yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So I get lazy sometimes, and I'll just drive over there, especially like if it's super cold or whatever. And like, yeah, it's not the same feel.
No, you don't get that little bit of just like wake your body up kind of time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that stuff's important.
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
I've
good
been
warm-up.
thinking about riding my bike to the gym. I still haven't done it in 2.5 years. So.
What's the distance on that for you?
It's probably 2.5-3 miles. I'm up at Union Hills, so it's a little further. I gotta figure out how long it's gonna take me to get there, so I'm at least on time. But
Yeah,
one of these days,
leave early enough.
Yeah,
Dude, speaking of warm-ups, shout out to Mateus. His warm-ups they're so interesting. I would have never like coming from a wrestling background, I would have, and I was very skeptical at first. I was like, what, like we're just basically like stretching, but it's hard stretching, like we're doing dynamic movements and stuff. And it actually works super well, and it's obviously helps a lot with like jiu-jitsu. Like everything he's doing is very intentional. I don't know where he's getting all this stuff. It's super cool. Like he'll sprinkle in like something new almost every week too, where it's like, oh, that's super interesting, and it's just like these little tiny movement stretches, and they get you going. Actually, though, it's really interesting, and like that complete opposite of like a Vinny warm up is more like a wrestling warm up. Like you're breaking a good sweat, you're moving a lot, which I love those warm ups too. But Mateus's are just very interesting. I'm hooked on them.
That's dope.
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, it's good. He's been doing other stuff at the 6 p.m. class too, like it's almost drilling, but it's just to get things warmed up, like you're saying.
So after like the 10 minutes is like where we do like what I'm talking about that he's doing with us, but then yes, like over the past couple weeks, it's been a lot of drilling with him. Like we haven't been doing any new technique. It's actually just been drills.
Yeah,
drilling the same technique.
Yeah, which my abs are on fire right now because of him this morning.
Yeah, a lot of the guard recovery stuff.
That's what we're retention.
Cool.
All that stuff. Yeah, we're doing that. So it's a huge ab workout. That's one of the things that kind of healed my body. Like wrestling did some damage in like that. It's a weird opposite motion. So like everything in wrestling is like hunched over and in, and like the pressure's down this way. And in jiu-jitsu, like when you're on your back a lot, you're opening your hips a bunch. You're using your core in a way different, like more dynamic way, like all the guard retention stuff. So like I had bad hips, and I was like, I probably have like bone on bone or something. I assumed it was something like that. They were that bad, but like since I started doing jiu-jitsu, my hips, like I don't have the same. They're not amazing still. They're super. I'm super not flexible, but I don't have those pains anymore. It's amazing.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
No, it's super rad. So
yeah, it's sick.
Yeah, I felt the same way with my hips specifically. Like for the first like year, I would be standing because at my job I'm a lot of times standing on concrete talking to customers, and I'm shifting back and forth from hip to hip just because I can just feel it just standing there.
Locking up slowly.
Yeah. So it's gone away, fortunately, over time. But yeah, it's great.
Have you ever had a job where you've had to sit on at a desk like for 8 hours?
So part of my military career, I was in some like desk style jobs. I worked as like the resource advisor for my time in Korea. So during that, I was just pretty much in charge of like the travel cards and like all the spending programs and buying like stuff for the different units and stuff like that. So that was that, and like the PT. I was a PTL, but it was like the desk version of the PTL. Like I got
What's PTL?
Physical training leader.
Okay.
So like I would lead workouts, but most of the day was like that, and the RA was like just sitting at the desk, like letting flight chiefs know that people failed PT tests, like getting purchasing requests together to buy something new for a unit or something like that. So it was all desk work.
Dude, it's all anecdotal for me, and just like maybe just me, but I never feel worse than when I'm at my desk for all day. I don't know how people do that for 40 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then they don't move.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I at least like I'm lucky I work in a warehouse, so like I'm at my desk and I can get up and I can do a lot of lifting and just different things in there. But man, I couldn't sit for 8 hours. It just wouldn't work for me.
It wouldn't
it's so bad.
40 hours a week is nuts of just sitting there.
But so many people have that job,
Yeah, it's like it's the norm.
It's the norm. Yeah. Yeah, even getting up so I've spent time, actually even all week I've been in my office, just at home, but I'm never just sitting there the whole time.
Yeah, get up, walk around, do some push-ups, something like that. Yeah.
And even when I was in the office, my previous job, I would probably every hour or so I'd get up and do some air squats, and some of my coworkers were looking at me funny. I'm like, guys, gotta stay moving. I was trying to be an example and nobody followed, but I was
do it enough, somebody would.
Yeah, right.
Karen's over there looking at you sideways. What's this guy doing?
What's going on here?
Freaking Dana being weirdo.
He's moving.
Yeah. Fortunately, it was sales, so it was a lot of young people, but
nice.
Still it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not as bad with the younger generation, but
yeah.
Still, I mean, a lot of obesity.
No kidding. And one thing we talk about a lot in this the podcast, which I know you can echo, is we choose your hard. Choose your hard, or life's going to choose it for you.
100%.
And just wellness in general. Obviously, you take care of yourself. Do you have any advice or anything particular that you do in terms of like your diet, or I know obviously you do tons of exercise with kettlebells and something we talked about, but any particular advice, like one little piece that you think would be helpful for people?
Yeah, I mean, just off the rip, like, without thinking too much, follow something. Follow, like, whether it be, like, if it's a diet, like, I eat mostly carnivore, but here's the thing is, like, give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Don't be the guy who's, like, as soon as you like, you do it for 6 months and then you finally, like, have a lapse, and then you just go off the deep end because you had that lapse. That's the end of your attempt at carnivore.
Sure.
Like, even if you have a lapse in the first 4 days, like, just keep trying to stick to it.
Yeah.
Like, stick with it long enough to actually know if you like it or not.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, give yourself grace. If you mess it up, like,
it's okay.
It's not that hard to get back to it. Like, the problem that I think arises most often with working out, jiu-jitsu, and that I think that's a big part of, like, the blue belt blues, if you will, or even, like, people quitting before they even get there, diet, anything is just people go, like, especially right now is especially viable. Like, we had New Year's resolutions, right?
Yep.
All these people come up with these New Year's resolutions. They have 10 goals that they're trying to achieve. First of all, narrow it down to one.
Yeah.
Like, go to the one, like, there's a book called The One Thing by Gary Keller. Find the one thing that you can do, so everything else will either be inconsequential or you won't need to do it.
Yeah.
And focus on that thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you're trying to get in shape, like, make sure you're working out and, following some kind of diet. Whether that, like, I don't care if you're vegan, I don't care if you're carnivore, I don't care if you're paleo, like, what it is, but just try to stick to it for long enough to actually see a result.
Sure.
And then, like I said, give yourself grace. If you mess it up, like, it's not the end of the world. You have tomorrow. Like, if you're in bed and you're like, fuck, I didn't work out, I didn't, eat right today, don't wake up the next day and be like, well, I screwed up yesterday, I might as well continue.
Yeah.
Like, wake up the next day and it's a new day.
Yeah.
Start back fresh. Like, you're just starting again.
I was just thinking as you're talking, you can chalk that day up as a loss. I mean, like, cool, this day is a loss, that's okay. And it takes thinking about it actively, where you're saying to yourself, okay, I had a bad day, but we have those. Mm-hmm. At the end of the night, I'm going to bed, and, like, I chalk it up as a loss. Tomorrow's a new day. Don't take that with you to the next day, but it does take the mindset and sitting there and thinking about it that night, and saying, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to get back on it, whatever it is for you.
Yeah. And I would argue, like, almost even to even help that process for you, like, adopt a gratitude practice.
You know what? It's funny you say that, because gratitude was the thing that, that was the second piece in my mind. I just forgot as I was talking, but you're absolutely right. A couple of years ago, it was a New Year's resolution thing, but I was just thinking, all right, what am I going to focus on for the year? And I didn't even read that book, The One Thing, but I was just thinking, I'm going to have one thing to do so. And gratitude was that, and then it was actually two things for me that year, was gratitude and balance. So, and it is the balance, like you said, having balance to say, okay, maybe you had a rough day, or give yourself some grace to cheat on, have a cookie.
Yeah, if you go out with your people and you drink a beer, and your New Year's resolution was don't drink. If you drink that beer, you made a mistake, you broke the resolution, but give yourself grace. Like, maybe you just learned something. Maybe you realize, like, okay, well, maybe I don't need to be going out with these people if I'm going to drink.
Yeah.
If you're truly serious about, like, trying to do it right, well, then sometimes you have to change your circumstances before you change yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's the people will try to have these big lofty goals, yet they stay in the exact same place that got them to where they are.
Right.
And they're not doing anything to personally grow or, like, change their environment, the people they surround themselves with. Like, I'd argue that's one of the net benefits for sure of jiu-jitsu, is, like, you're surrounded by people who at least have that.
Yeah.
They at least have that pillar correct in their life.
Yeah.
And it's like, find people who are going to actually motivate you towards your goals rather than the people who are trying to pull you back to where you were.
Yeah.
Like that's by far, if I could go back and give you, like, now that I thought about it, if I could give you one thing, it's surround yourself with the right people.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with influences who are going to who want to see you get better. And that one of the things that means is they're going to be brutally honest with you when you're fucking up.
Yeah. You need
Like,
that. Everybody
you need
needs
people
that.
in your life like that. If
Yeah.
you push those people away, that's an issue.
Yep.
Because those people are that means they care about you.
Yep.
If they're honest with you, if they're like, hey man, you said you were going to stop drinking, yet you went out and, like, you know, you had a couple drinks, like, I'm not holding it against you, but dude, like, if you really want to stop drinking, like, you just maybe don't go out.
Yeah.
At least for a while until you get a grips on that to
Yep.
where you can go out and just be a part of the setting.
Yep.
Without having to drink to be a part of it.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
So there's a really good book actually kind of on the same topic that you were talking about. One Word That Will Change Your Life.
Yeah.
It's a really great book to read towards the end of the year
Okay.
because it just talks about getting a word that is your word for the year.
Yeah.
And it's like dialing it in, comments on it to like similar to the one thing, but like dialing it in to, like, you know, what is it that you're going to do that year that you're going to focus on, whether it be gratitude, whether it be, for me this year was follow through, just following through with whatever I set forth. Like,
Sure.
I'm going to follow through. And even though that's technically 2 words, but I put
Yeah,
a hyphen in the middle.
Yeah, that's one word.
But it becomes one word. But just have some intentionality.
Yeah.
You know, that, like, if at the end of the day, like, it comes down to, like, truly being intentional about what your goals are.
Right.
And, like, by being intentional, you have to prioritize them. If it's a goal, you got to prioritize the goal.
For sure.
You can't keep doing the same things.
For sure. Well, I think that's a good way to finish it off. I know Luke and I are both cooking. Steve is ready.
I'm in
Steve's
hell,
ready to go
brother.
for another
Yeah.
30 minutes to an hour, probably. But
I
Always-
love
always
talking,
the
man.
case.
yeah, no, we'll have you back on again
Yeah.
because this is great. Love talking to you, get to know your story, and you've been a big influence on my jiu-jitsu career, but also my life. You know,
Appreciate
you and
that,
I
man.
have spent a little time outside of jiu-jitsu, like just on life things, and I appreciate that a lot. It's helped me be a better person. So
Yeah, same ditto to you as well. Like, you've helped me a lot. And so it's just, you can learn something from everybody.
absolutely.
Brother, thanks for coming out. I know it was
you.
a haul.
Yeah,
Thanks
it
for
was worth
chopping
it.
it up, dude.
It was worth it. I was already up there, so it was
Oh,
good.
nice.
It was nice.
Yeah, okay.
Well, cool. Well, signing off. Thank you, everybody.
Ooh. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Later.
Later.
I think one of my kids put a piece of wood in there. Did you see that catching on fire?
Yeah, I
right
did.
there?
Yeah.